Hello, it's Christine again, and we are picking up where we left off in the previous episode and going ahead and continue debugging. Alright, I think we're getting closer, and I just tried to log in again after I did a deploy, and from what I see it's going to the right URL, but there's this double slash that is showing up in the //dev. So I probably just need to go ahead and remove the single slash, and hopefully it should get us working. So let me go ahead and do that, and we should be hopefully real close to going and getting this done. So I'm going to kick off a new deploy and remove the trailing slash and see how far this gets us. Stay tuned. Alright, after seeing that we've got some errors, we did some surgery to take care of this trailing slash, so we're ready to deploy it again, and hopefully it'll work this time. So kicking off another deploy on the front end and passing in the URL, but the code has been made slightly more foolproof, and like it'll handle either if there's a trailing slash or not. So after making those changes, I was able to go to the browser and actually able to log in, and I can see the renewals there as well. So we've made some good progress, and so now we're going to set up GitHub to be able to push any code changes that we want automatically. And just for reference, here we've got this is our Fly.io dashboard, and we're at version 3 for the back end, and in the front end we're at version 5. So we're going to deploy our app on GitHub, and probably is going to fail the first time because I haven't set up the secrets for deploying to Fly.io, and then hopefully it'll work the second time. So fingers crossed, let's hope this gets us through the finish line. So going back to Claude, and I could actually create the GitHub repo myself, but why not just see if Claude can do that. So I said create a private GitHub repo called Dequedu subspot for this project, and I have GitHub CLI installed locally, and I also have a version, so it's going to check if I'm at the right version, and I also already logged in as well. So it's going to go ahead and create that repo, personal subscription manage. Actually, you know what? I haven't checked in my code, so let me go ahead and here. Actually, no. I'm going to ask it before it does this. Please check in the latest changes. And only have to check in the changes when we got something that we can push, because I know that we have made some changes. I want to make sure everything works really cleanly. Alright, add all the changes and then push to GitHub. Yep, we are going to do that. So it's got all of the information requiring deploy, etc. And now it's going to go ahead and create the repo and potentially push it up there. So it's been pushed to the private GitHub repo. I can click on that and go ahead and check it out. So if I go to this repo, it's got that subscription manager, and you can see it's actually trying to run the GitHub workflow, which I assume is gonna fail because, first of all, I haven't set up any of the secrets that are needed to deploy it. Hopefully at least the CI passes with no errors. If not, I'll just make sure that I've tested the code locally. But while we assume that's gonna fail, we'll just happily wait for that to happen. Alright, so we've got some failures in here that we can actually look into. The backend worked fine, no failures in the CI. But if you look at the front end worked, if you look at the backend, there seem to be some lint errors, and we can potentially just go back here and run lint and type check, because I'm assuming it added some things in there that caused the error to happen. And as you can see, as it didn't have any lint errors, but it has some lint errors on the back end. So it's going to go ahead and fix those, and after that we'll push another commit. But while it's doing that, this gives us an opportunity to go ahead and add our fly.io API tokens. And the place to do that is in GitHub. Under settings, you can go to your actions. Actually, no, it's under secrets and variables. Under actions, I'm going to set some repository secrets for the values for the API tokens to deploy to fly.io. So I'm going ahead and adding the secret for V, and I've added ones for the tokens for the back end and the front end. Alright, checking back, we were able to get Claude to go through and find and fix all of the lint and type check errors. So at this point, I just want to update the plan. Let's see, update. This is our handy custom command that we had previously created. And as we look at the actual implementation plan, I'm pretty sure there's some things that we have done in here that it should be able to check off. So I say yes. And I think we're also able to, yeah, I guess we're happy with that. It's been fixing and linting TypeScript errors along the way, as well as seems like continually introducing that. But I do want to check in where we are at this point, so that we have like a good sense of where we're going. Alrighty. So go ahead and check that in, and then we're going to push this up to GitHub and see if we can get our tests going. Alright, so it's pushing it to the GitHub repo. And once that's done, we can go to our browser and check how our deploy is going for this particular code. So we've got the lint issue, we've got the workflow running in GitHub Actions. We can always click into it and see what's going on. The last few ones failed drastically. So hopefully these turn green, or else the fixes continue. And we'll probably take this into the next episode, because this one has already run pretty long. I might just do kind of like a quick wrap up at the end to see what we did to fix it. But I'm hoping it actually works. Well, it looks like the CI actually went through fine, at least for one of them, the back end and the front end. And we can always click into that, and we can see that the workflow is running, and it's deploying it to two places. It's deploying it one to the back end, and it's deploying it to the front end. And if we were to look at our tech stack and see where our back end is, it should be in the middle of getting deployed at this point, and the front end as well. This is a while ago, so steadily waiting for this to continue working, and we'll check in and see if that worked out okay. Always good to click in and see how far it's gotten. So it's gotten to the point where it's pushing it to fly.io. similar to what we did when we ran it from the command line, but in this case it's running it from GitHub. So I found that the deployment had hung on the back end, so I just had to cancel and restart it, and it's able to go through the back end, and now it's deploying the front end as well. And looks like both went pretty well. And if I go to the back end, I see that a minute ago the back end was deployed, and I see that just right about now the front end was deployed. So if I go in here, I should be able to see things seem to be working well, and we were able to get a deploy happening directly from a GitHub Actions. So it looks like we've kind of got most of the stuff done. So in the next episode, I'm just going to go through some of the things that would be nice to have, some reflections about the whole process, potentially some tips and tricks to be aware of. Because as we saw, there's kind of like a back and forth where we worked with Claude Code, and sometimes it did exactly what we wanted it to do, but obviously just had some fun doing it well, but of some frustrations that I'll share as well. So tune into the last episodes of Building with Claude Code, where I'm going to share some of the things that I got out of it.